Thank you for the question, but before going there, meanwhile, I was stepping up to the scene. I was reading a tweet of Trudeau, the PM of Canada, and saying that in each cabinet meeting we are having this week, and in each single one we are going to stay focused on how we can make your life more affordable, fight climate changes, create good middle-class jobs, and keep building an economy that works for all Canadians. I mean, and immediately to my mind was the question, isn't this the role of each of the government? Meaning central and local, and definitely in each of the government, which is elected by free will and free votes of the citizens. You know, you are there to serve, and you are there to do the best that you can, to listen to the needs of your citizens, and deliver ideas, deliver projects, deliver services, and at the end of the day, create jobs. And if you create jobs, then you have more money, then improve the economic and social environment, with the main focus to have a betterment, or at least to be better today than we were tomorrow, or to think for the future that the future will be better than today. And being both as a former banker and foreign politician, working both, even in local level, but even in a central level, I mean, I think that beyond the serving idea, and we are here to serve, and we need to serve to our community, is now that I think that we need even to act as leader and to inspire. So what we can do, because I fear that everybody is expecting from the politician to deliver everything. At the end of the day, the politician need to create the infrastructure. How the citizen can promote themselves, how the businesses can grow. And the politicians are there to set up the rules, laws, legislation. Conrad said that, yeah, we are in the way of legislation. It's a good way, a diplomatic way to say, no, we don't have everything yet in place. So it's a big no. We have something, but we need to improve in order to be readable, acceptable, and implemented. Sometimes we approve some laws which are beautiful in papers, but very terrible in the implementation. So yes, in the community engagement, I think that at the end of the day, we are approving laws and rules and policies and strategies to be implemented for the people, for their betterment, not for the betterment of the political parties that are in place. When I mentioned before the 5 Ps, for me, one of the most important, not that people and planet and prospect and peace is not important. Absolutely, it's very much important. But when you're talking about partnership, for me, it's very much important. I was hearing yesterday the mayor of Brasov. I was listening to him very carefully, even today. How passionate is he about not simply the green cities, but really to improve and to bring the change in this municipality. I wish I could see more politicians really talking about down to earth, talking about concrete plans, and having the support. I know that in the municipality of Brasov, the mayor doesn't have the majority of political votes, and believe me, this is terrible. I face it when I was working in my municipality. Even if it's a good idea coming from the mayor or coming from any of the political parties, especially in minority, then the majority that have the votes, and this is the dilemma of democracy, always the majority wins over the minority. It doesn't matter how good is the idea. And how difficult it is for a mayor to really go straight forward and to implement every kind of new project. And believe me, in the local level, it's more talking about people and their betterment, how we can improve their life, how can they improve the education, how we can improve the, how we can decrease the bill of the electricity, or if we cannot decrease the bill of electricity, how we can help the people that are not able to pay it. So at the end of the day, we are talking about our next neighbor, we are talking about our cousin, we are talking about the friend of a friend, or the parent of our kids' friends. So when we are talking about the local politics, always, and my message, and it's, the leader should inspire, but he needs to have partnership. Doesn't matter what kind of political party he or she is working with, because at the end of the day, we are talking about improving the lives. The big politics is always a big politics, always you have the opponent, but when it's something good, we need to accept that it's good, and then we need to promote it. Working in the partnership area, what I wanted to mention is that why we need the citizen. And when we're talking about citizen, it's not only the individual. It's the individual, is civil society, the academia, students, because they produce at the end of the day this kind of paper that Conrad was explaining. So they create the methodology, and then they prove that the methodology is right. But we need even the media to transmit it as it should be transmitted, because the media at the end of the day can destroy an image, can destroy a project, or can promote a really good project and seek and fight for the truth. So basically, my message, or in the ideal world, how should community be engaged and delivered? It's like not simply in the city council, because the city council is supposed to be the representative of all the dimension, meaning gender, meaning age, meaning the background, and even political party. But even in a lot of, budget participatory, for example, practices. So whenever it's a time to approve the budget, which I do believe usually in most of the countries it's late summer, so August, September, because at the end of the year you need to have everything written and prepared and approved to include as much as possible the citizen. I faced by myself, and before entering or deciding to enter in the politics, because it's always difficult. When you are working in a private institution, you are a banker, and then suddenly you say goodbye to that life and then enter in politics. It's exactly the question that, or always a dilemma, should I enter and contribute, whatever the level it is, or should I expect it from the others? You have two choices: to complain as a citizen and to say they should do something, which they means the elected persons, the politicians,
That's what
the mayor.
often happens when they hear it from politicians.
Yeah, they don't know how to do it. They are corrupt. They think only for themselves. They don't deliver. They should act more responsibility, with more accountability. They. And instead, what you are doing is complaining. So maybe you are sitting in a bar with friends and then complaining for them. Or you take action. And which is the action? You get involved. Doesn't matter how you get involved. Personally, I start the involvement into the local politics with the civil society, and raising the voice against some politics, some decision, or raising the voice not simply against something, but promoting a good initiative or suggesting a good initiative. Then you don't know what life is sending you up to the parliament or up to the municipality, it doesn't matter, but you are an engaged citizen. Why we need to engage, and why even the politician needs the citizens. They can set up priorities and better objectives for themselves. Not simply because they know better what's the problem, but they will help later on even to achieve these objectives. Be in objectives for education, be in objectives for health, for economic growth, for culture, for sport, whatsoever, because in the community you have a different representative from different target groups. So once you set up the objectives, where we are going to go in the next year, in the next 5 years, or in 2030, or in 2015 together, then definitely they know what is expected from them. They know how to even ask and demand to be, for the government, local, central, to be accountable, to say, hey, we set up this together. We are going to help you, but you are going to deliver. So it's much more a transparent government. Politicians usually often don't like this because they need to take the decision by themselves and not to be asked later on. So it's much more easy to promise something in election and then deliver some of that, or cut some ribbons of one investment 2 or 3 times, because yeah, it's always a nice picture to cut a ribbon before, after, and during the process of building something or reconstructing something. But what we need to evaluate and to appreciate are the really concrete efforts that a person is really doing. And what I saw here in Brașov, I really appreciate the fact that the community here, the staff of the municipality, the participants in this conference, are really trying to find alternative solutions to become better in the future. What I'm saying better is to live in much more harmony with the environment, to live cheaper and in a much more efficient way, to have a health system that is functioning for everybody, and everybody is paying less or is not paying at all if they are not able to afford the health system, and a better education system which can improve the future generations and the future decisions as well.